Welcome in, Orlando Magic fans. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. The support for the Magic Digest channel has been great over the last handful of days and in the past week, so we're going to try to make sure that we can keep that going. Today we're going to be talking about a bit of a reflection on the first month of the season as November is now over. It is December 1st, so we're going to be giving out final grades and talking about the things that we have learned about the Orlando Magic so far in the season. Right now, the Orlando Magic are 14-7, and they are boasting one of the best, or the best, home record in the NBA. They're deep in a cup race, and they did all of this without their best player. We're going to talk about how that exactly happened. But I wanted to start off this video and mention it as we go throughout the video, the final grade for the last month. And we can kind of loop in October a little bit, but I kind of wanted it to keep it just as November. I gave them an A+. If I'm a professor and I'm grading a student and they are the Orlando Magic, I'm giving them an A+ because I don't really think there was a better scenario than the one that they are currently on right now. After Paolo Banchero went down and got injured, we've talked about it multiple times over the past handful of weeks. This team looked like they were in danger. They were in trouble. There were some things that this team needed to really, really figure out, and they have done exactly that. And then they have also just decided to be 100 times better than what we ever even really saw them at last year. They are 11-1 over the last 12 games. That is the best 12-game stretch that they have ever had since 2010. So it's tied. They've never been 12-0 in a 12-game stretch, I should say. The Magic are the only undefeated team at home. I mentioned that they boast one of the best or the best record in the NBA at home. They are unbeatable at home so far. They are 9-0. They have pulled themselves out of any sort of danger as far as being a play-in team or missing the playoffs so far in the year. I know it's a very, very long year, but they have done that. They have kind of picked themselves up by the bootstraps in a sense, and they have brought themselves up to that third seed in the Eastern Conference. They're actually competing to be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. They have the second most wins by 10+ points this season, and they are tied for the 5th best win percentage this season in the NBA. So it's not just an Eastern Conference thing, it's an NBA thing. And they have among the longest home winning streaks in their history. They're at 3 right now. The other 2 times were the Shaq Magic teams with 21 and 33. Right now they're at 15. So I say all of this, do all this entire stat dump to say maybe they're not at a 100% on the paper, but they're at least a 97% with everything that I'm looking at. I understand semantics might get in the way of it. Say you have to win every single game to get an A+ to get the highest grade possible. I get that, but at the end of the day, I can't give them any other grade than that. The Orlando Magic are peaking, and we're going to continue doing this monthly grade as the season goes on. And we are on watch to see if Franz Wagner got the Eastern Conference Player of the Month. Not the greatest thing ever, not the best award out there, but it's still going to be pretty cool when he potentially gets it. I think he will get it over LaMelo Ball. There's a nice little conversation on the last video about that, but we will have to wait and see. Things that we have learned. We've learned a lot. First of all, Franz Wagner is legit. Him getting paid the money, we knew that he deserved it, or we knew that he was going to have to get it eventually. You're right, or some other team was going to swoop in and pay him, and we knew that he could kind of moonlight as that number 1 guy. We saw it in the Olympics, and we were like, whoa, and the national media saw that too. But with the contract and his poor shooting, I don't think everybody was kind of in his corner in a sense. That has changed. We have learned that now. This is a 93, 94 Scottie Pippen era for him. He is absolutely taken over the team. He has been the best player on the team. Coach Mosley deserves a lot of credit. I asked you guys the other day who deserves the most credit. I mean, obviously, it's kind of splitting hairs a little bit with some of the guys, and Franz got the most votes, but Coach Mosley, he has put Wendell Carter Jr. at the 4, kept Badatse in the starting lineup, and that has worked out very well for the Orlando Magic. Goga is also in playing extremely well alongside Wendell Carter Jr. They are limiting people to not good offensive numbers, and they are also like kind of scoring as well. It's only been a 2-game sample size, but we're still figuring it out, seeing how they're going to work. We'll see what happens when Paolo Banchero comes back. That might end up changing. Obviously, one of them is definitely going to get moved out of the starting lineup. We'll see if Wendell Carter Jr. sticks at the 4, or if he's the one that moves. I think he would be the one that moves, but that's going to take a while to come because Paolo Banchero still needs to get reevaluated. KCP over the last 2 games, 24 points, 6 threes, 60% from the three-point line. Then he had 19 points, 4 threes, 80% from the three-point line. He never scored that many points over 2-game span as a Nugget. Okay? Almost more of an active development, I would say that this is. But he is much better than he was at any point prior to the year in the last 2 games. And that is something that has majorly boosted this team, especially when we saw Gary Harris go down. We thought, oh my goodness. I mean, not that Gary Harris is like the greatest player of all time, but okay, is Anthony Black going to start? Tristan Da Silva, is he still going to be out there in the starting lineup? When does Wendell Carter Jr. get back? We need some sort of, we need some more production somewhere, especially in the front court. How long can Mo Wagner keep that up, right? It's been KCP who has stepped up mightily over the last handful of games and has continued to help this team win and beat decent basketball teams. That's been really great. Da Silva, Black, and Howard are all rotational pieces. Now, to the degree, it's differing. Tristan Da Silva was a bit of a placeholder, was in the starting lineup, has played 17 games this year, and 13 of them have been starts. Anthony Black, on the other hand, not so many starts, but a lot of playtime, perhaps the most playtime out of all those guys, especially consistently with a healthy team. He was doing this at the beginning of the season too. They seem to trust him a lot. Now, the starting role, not his, but they seem to trust him a lot. And also, Jett Howard is getting minutes. Now, some are garbage time, others aren't, but it looks like all of these players will be rotational pieces for the entire regular season. And then I would say at least Anthony Black for the playoffs. I think Tristan Da Silva, being a rookie, might get shoved further down to the bench, but I think he's shown how smart and how capable he is, so I think he could get some minutes in the playoffs. I don't know about Jett Howard in that sort of scenario, but like I said, and as I've been saying, we'll have to wait and see. It's only November, or it's December 1st, but we're only talking about November and the very end of October, which was the beginning of the season. There's still a lot more to go. This team did and is not perfect. They did end up entering Friday's game against the Nets, even though they shot really well, 18-35 from 3, as the worst three-point shooting team in the league. That is something that's going to have to get fixed. And will Paolo Banchero, when he returns, fix that? Probably not, in all honesty, or at least not bring us up to about halfway in the league, and that could be the death sentence. So we're just watching that. I mean, we've it almost feels like we've beaten a dead horse here, where it's talking about the shooting. Shooting's always an issue for the Orlando Magic, but we'll have to wait and see. Bedase and Suggs fined $2,000 by Adam Silver for flopping, so that's also in the recent news. Now, I wanted to take a look at the Sunday game and the NBA Cup update that is going on right now. Paolo Banchero and Gary Harris are both already ruled out for the game that is going to be later tonight. Obviously, Paolo Banchero dealing with the same old stuff. Gary Harris is slowly progressing. That's what Jamahl Mosley said. And it looks like Paolo Banchero now will not be able to get any end of the season, end of the year awards, because this is officially now his 17th consecutive game that he has missed. That's going to put him right around that 65 game mark. He's going to miss more games, so that could be a pretty big thing for his contract and something that will be a development as the season goes on. Certainly helps the Magic's front office, I guess, in a sense, but also kind of puts everything like not at ease in a sense, but that could definitely affect some stuff, especially with cap going forward. Now, Orlando is at New York again this year in the Group A, and the winner will win the group and host a quarterfinal game. If New York wins by 30 or less, Orlando will be in the wild card for the NBA Cup. So I would imagine even if New York wins, they're not going to win by over 30. But we've seen different types of games that have revolved around the NBA Cup, where we see some teams run up the score a little bit. But I don't really see that being a scenario that happens. Sorry that this video was maybe a little bit all over the place. Still not back in the same old place. but that you guys usually see me, but wanted to get another video out. Wanted to talk about the whole month of November, try to lay everything possible out that I could. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below of the Orlando Magic and the last month that they have had in the NBA, because it's certainly been a great ride. But that's all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time with some more Orlando Magic basketball content.